Greetings, everybody. Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles. Hope everybody's having a good festive season, taking it easy, and if you are out on the roads, just be careful of the crazies out there. So this episode is going to be what I found at the Vinyl Fair. I think I mentioned it in the previous video. This past weekend, I went through to Cape Town to the Waterfront. And found some really interesting stuff. Some I've been after for a while. And I treated myself to a brand new sealed vinyl. I don't normally get the new stuff. I normally go for the second hand simply because of the price over here. It's a little bit crazy. But this one was a fair price. I thought, what the hell, I'm going to treat myself to a Christmas present. And that's what I did. So I'm just going to quickly run through what I got. And you can let me know in the comments what you think down below. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, that'll be great. So let's get stuck in, shall we? First album I got, the first one I'm going to show you. This is a band and I always thought they were an English band. Turns out they're an American band. And they've made, I think, about 4 albums, but the one that everybody knows is the one that I got, and the one after that called At the Sound of the Bell. But the one that I got is Pampered Menial. I love that cover. Pavlov's Dog is the name of the band. I guess you'd call them progressive rock. Slight hard rock side to them as well. The one thing about this band is you have to get used to the vocalist, David Surkamp, who had this incredibly high falsetto voice. It takes some getting used to if you're not... it can put you off. The music itself is really good. There's some great guitar work, lots of nice keyboards, mellotron, flute. Tell you who's in the band here. David Surkamp on lead vocals and guitar, David Hamilton on keyboards, Doug Rayburn on mellotron and flute, Mike Saffron on percussion, Rick Stockton on bass guitar, Siegfried Carver, violin, guitar and viola. There's some really nice violin work in here as well. Reminds me at times a bit of Gentle Giant, that kind of, maybe not the same, but with a violin going on, the string work. And then Steve Scorfino on lead guitar as well. So it's quite a large band. And the big hit off here, obviously, is the one called Julia, which some of you guys might recognize that track. And the third track on here called Song Dance, which is very progressive. Actually got a nice heavy riff to that track. And it's the kind of song that sticks in your head. It's been in my head the last few days because I've been playing this quite a bit. So Julia is the first track, then Late November, Song Dance, the one I just mentioned, Fast Gun, and Natchez Trace. And that's on side 1. Then we get to side 2, theme from Subway Sue, episode Preluding and Of Once and Future Kings, which is quite a sort of a mini epic track, also very much in the prog side of things. Like I mentioned, they don't get too heavy, but there is some nice guitar work. And once you can get past these sort of strangled cat vocals of David Surkamp, it's really worth a listen. Nothing much inside that I can show you. It's pretty standard LP cover. And there's the back. I just love those drawings. Apparently the drawings are... what does it say here? Engravings published by Robert Vernon in 1849. So these are quite old engravings that they use, and I think it worked pretty well. At the Sound of the Bell, their second album is the one that I still need to get, but I'm glad I got that one. So that's Pampered Menial by Pavlov's Dog. Something totally different. I had heard this album previously. I've had 2 of his other albums, and I've got 3. Long way to go. Stanley Clarke, and the album called Journey to Love. I mean, the bass work on here, of course, Stanley Clarke is just incredible stuff. Who else appears on here? Jeff Beck appears on here. Lenny White on drums. Guitar, obviously Stanley Clarke on bass, and electric and acoustic bass. Trying to see, there's a whole bunch of other people on here as well. George Duke, Minnie Moog, Steve Gadd on drums, David Sanchez electric guitar, and then the guitar solo on Journey to Love is by Jeff Beck. Amazing album, really great jazz rock fusion if you're into that kind of thing. This is one to check out. The other Stanley Clarke that I have is a self-titled one, and Rocks, Pebbles and Sand, which came out, I think, in the 80s, a bit later. And this one came out in 1975, yes. The Pavlov's Dog, when did that come out? 75 as well, there we go. Tracks to look out for: Journey to Love, Hello Jeff, which is a tribute to, sorry, you see me there? It's a tribute to Jeff Beck. Song to John, there's a part 1, and then on side 2 there's a part 2. And then the second track, there's only 2 tracks on side 2, Concerto for Jazz Rock Orchestra, with some incredible bass work. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. He's right up there for me with Jaco Pastorius in you know, in this kind of genre. Here we go, Stanley Clarke, Journey to Love. Glad I got that. Then I got an album by Steve Hackett, my second album from his. I still need to get Voyage of the Ocholite, which I believe is his first solo album, which everybody says is the one I have to get. This one's from 1980. This is called Defector. I think the same guy did his album covers for quite a few of his albums. The Steps, Time to Get Out, Slogans, Leaving, 2 Vamps as guests. I've only heard this once, so I don't really know it that well yet. Hammer in the Sand, The Toast, The Show is the big hit that came off this album. Well, big hit, it was the most notable. And, you know, Steve Hackett's guitar work for me, like David Gilmour and Andrew Latimer from Camel, very distinctive sound, very emotive playing. I just love the tones he gets, and he sort of takes you off into all sorts of places. And I believe on this album, there's a couple of live shots there of the guys. On this album there on flute is his brother. And his brother's name is John Hackett, concert and alto flute. Steve Hackett, guitar, vocals. Mick Magnus, keyboards. Pete Nix, vocals. John Shearer, drums and percussion. And Dick Cadbury, bass and vocals, recorded at Essex Studios. It's got some lyrics there as well. There's a couple of instrumentals and the rest are vocal. Really good stuff. Amazing guitar work. So that's one I grabbed. Steve Hackett, Defector. Then a Journey album, but no, not the Steve Perry Journey. This is pre-Steve Perry. This was their second album called Look to the Future, Look into the Future. So this is with Ainsley Dunbar on drums, and who else is on there? Neil Schon on guitar, Greg Rowley on keyboards and vocals, and the bass player. Gosh, what was his name? It's terrible when you forget things, you know. See if I can get his name here. He's a bass player that was with him for many years. Russ Valerie. Yes, there we go. So that was the lineup. Very jazz rock fusionish. The first 3 Journey albums were nothing like the Steve Perry hit machine. Very different. This is more jazz rock fusion. Some incredible guitar work. And yeah, I just dig these first 3. If you can find these albums, grab them. They're well produced. Neil Schon's guitar work shines right throughout. And Greg Rowley, I've always admired him as a vocalist. He's not a Steve Perry, but he's a different type of vocalist. In fact, him and Steve Perry were in the band, I think, for 1 or 2 albums, and then he left. And of course, the rest is history. But yeah, this is a great album as well. Cover's a bit oldish, but hey, you don't play the cover, you play the record, is what I always say. Then I got 2 albums by a band that was pretty short-lived. 2 studio, 1 live album. I had the 1 studio called Why Don't You? Then I got the second one, Whatever Turns You On, from West, Bruce and Lang. Love that cover there. The back cover is even better. And there's Leslie West eating his way through what looks like a whole bunch of hamburger patties. That's Jack Bruce clugging a bottle of wine there. And there's Corky Lane, the drummer. And yeah, this is just good time, boogie, hard rock. I've only listened to this once. It's perhaps not as strong as the first studio album, Why Don't You? But there's that famous artist from America. He did some of the artwork on here. I can't think of his name right now. There's a couple of those really weird cartoon drawings. And there they are. He's eating his way through a whole bunch of hamburgers there. Leslie West. And he was rather a large chap. So yeah, this is just good blues rock. There's a track on here called Slow Blues, which is exactly what it is. And yeah, good album. I need to play this again. I've only given it one listen. And then I managed to get the live album. This was actually after the band had broken up. The record company released this, called Live and Kicking. There we go. West Bruce and Lang. And recorded at the Honest Truck, the record plant. I'm just trying to see what else it says here. So they do a couple of covers. Play with Fire, the Rolling Stones tune, but they do a very different version on here. In fact, there's only 4 tracks on this album. So that one is 12 minutes long. And then you get The Doctor, which was on their first album, Why Don't You? Great blues rocker. Some of the bass work on here, and it's so raw. This album reminds me very much of that first live Grand Funk, you know, when it's kind of, there's no mixing, messing around with mixing and what have you. It's just in your face live rock from the early 70s. This was 74. Yeah, so this is after they broke up. Then you had a Cream track on side 2, Politician, and then another lengthy track called Powerhouse Sod. And that's about 10 minutes long. Just good. Yeah, this is good raucous stuff. West Bruce and Lang, Live and Kicking. Another one I'm glad I got hold of. If you look at this cover, this has been around the block a few times. I wonder how many people have owned this album. And then last but not least, the album that I got that was brand new, sealed. I've had to unseal it to show you guys. And this album came out fairly recently, 2018, or what is this, 2016. They found these tapes in the archives or whatever, and they released it. Bad Company, live in 1977, live at the Summit, Houston, Texas, USA, May the 23rd, 1977. There you go, there's a play on the Rizzler. Bad Company. Live 77, Mick Ralphs, Paul Rodgers, Simon Kirke, and Boz Burrell. Today, in fact, Paul Rodgers turned 75, which is quite amazing if you think all the health issues he had of late with strokes and what have you. Here's some great live shots as well. There we go with the band. That's Boz Burrell on his fretless bass. There's Simon Kirke, the drummer, Mick Ralphs, the guitarist, and there's the great Paul Rodgers. So what are the tracks on here? Burning Sky. I haven't had a chance to listen to this yet. This is the only album that I've got that I haven't listened to yet, so I'm saving this for tonight. Too Bad, Ready for Love, and Heartbeat. Morning Sun, Man Needs a Woman, Leaving You, and Shooting Star, that famous track of theirs, that sort of ballad track. Simple Man, Moving On, Like Water. Then there's a drum solo from Simon Kirke, as per usual in the 70s. You had to have a drum solo. One of my favorite tracks, Live for the Music. Good Loving Gone Bad, and Feel Like Making Love, produced by Bad Company. Yeah, I'm really chuffed to get this. Trying to think which one of the traders I got this from. Gary White, I think. So thank you, Gary. Looking forward to listening to this. I just want to show you the inside. Fantastic gatefold. And there's some of the live shots. Mick Ralphs at the top there. There's Paul Rodgers, Boz Burrell, Simon Kirke. There we go, there's a few more shots. Excellent stuff. And inside, I think there's something I can show you as well. This is probably from the program. And that just tells you the whole story. So there have been a few of these live releases that weren't available. I think there's another one from San Antonio, or was it somewhere else? I can't remember. I know there's another live one that's worth getting, but that one I'm really glad I got. So there we go, Bad Company, live in 1977. I keep wanting to say 1997. Need some more wine, I think. So yeah, a good day out. Got some great albums. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. If you have them, if you enjoy these albums, any comments, it'd be great to hear from you guys. As I said, take it easy out there on the roads. And have yourselves a great festive season. If I don't, I'll probably only chat again after Christmas. And for those who celebrate, enjoy. And I shall catch you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.